Hear me out. Manchester United might be benching their most dangerous attacker. Not their most famous, not their most expensive, their most dangerous. Benjamin Šeško. Under Michael Carrick, he hasn't started a single Premier League game, and yet he keeps scoring. Important goals, late goals, momentum shifting goals. So the question isn't whether he's in form. The question is this: is United managing him perfectly? Or are they overthinking something pretty simple? So let's start fair. Šeško has been devastating off the bench. He comes on when defenders are tired, when lines are stretched, and when the game gets chaotic. And he thrives in chaos. Late goals, direct runs, clinical finishing, and there's the real value in that. Every big team loves a super sub. But here is the problem. United don't look like a team in control of games. They don't dominate from minute one. They struggle to convert pressure into goals. So when your most efficient finisher keeps delivering in limited minutes, it starts to feel strange that he's not trusted from the start. But let's strip emotion away. Under Carrick, Šeško hasn't started a single league game, but his output per minute is high. Meanwhile, the starting front line has been inconsistent. Amad Diallo was creative but not consistent scorer, Mbeumo, who is explosive but streaky, and Cunha that sometimes gets off the game. United don't lack attacking names, they lack attacking clarity, and clarity is what Šeško seems to offer. He runs behind, he attacks space, he finishes decisively. A simple striker behavior. Sometimes a simple wins. But we have to take something into account. Benjamin Šeško is young. He was not signed as a guaranteed finished product. He was signed as potential, as trajectory. And meanwhile, United also bought Cunha and Mbeumo. Those are ready-made Premier League attackers. Different age, different expectations, and different pressure. Cunha and Mbeumo were brought in to deliver immediately, but Šeško was brought in to grow. That distinction matters more than fans admit, because Carrick might not be benching his best player. He might be managing his development curve correctly. Because think long term. If you start Šeško every week against elite centre backs in a tactically unstable team and he hits a dry spell, the confidence drops, pressure rises, and the media narratives explode. Keeping him as an impact option protects him. It allows growth without being the focal point. And for a young striker, that can be a smart management way. But here is the tension. United are not stable mid-table club with time. They need goals now. They need the momentum now. And when the young striker is the one that is actually delivering, patience becomes harder to justify. So now let's get practical. If Šeško starts, who drops out? Because the first option will be the one that most of us already thought about, which is to drop Amad Diallo and move Mbeumo to the right wing, where you will just lose the link-up play and the creative balance that has been missing on Amad Diallo recently. And then the second option would just be to remove Mbeumo from the center forward and put him on the bench. And for that option, you just would simply lose the directness and the finishing ability of Mbeumo. And then the third option is to actually move the left wing. So take Cunha and put probably Mbeumo or Amad Diallo on that left wing, which of course wouldn't be their natural positions, but it would also be an option to be able to have both Amad Diallo and Mbeumo both playing in the 11. So, well, as you can see, that's the real issue. Carrick might be prioritizing balance, midfield stability, and even the defensive structure. So he's trying to achieve compactness, and managers often prefer predictability over chaos, and even when those chaos moments scores goals. So this is where things get interesting. Carrick might be protecting a long-term asset, or he might be limiting the short-term output, and both arguments have logic. Because if United are building for 2 seasons from now, managing minutes makes sense. But if they're trying to stabilize immediately and get us into Champions League football, then leaving your most decisive finisher on the bench feels counterproductive. Because this isn't incompetence, it's simply philosophy. Future building versus immediate return. This debate exposes something deeper. United still don't have a fixed attacking identity. They rotate profiles, they rotate shapes, and they rotate partnership, which makes every match feel slightly improvised. And Šeško represents the directness, clarity, and the vertical threat that he can bring. And sometimes, when a team looks confused, the simplest profile becomes the most valuable one. Start the striker, let him run, and feed him. Keep it uncomplicated. But United right now don't operate simply, they operate cautiously. So, is he a perfect super sub? Yes. Is he good enough to start? Also, yes. The real question is whether United are brave enough to shift the structure to accommodate him. Because starting Šeško might mean sacrificing balance, or sacrificing a more experienced sign. And dropping Cunha or Mbeumo after investing heavily in them, that also sends a message. And managers think about the messages. Because hear me out, this isn't about Carrick being wrong. It's about trade-offs, control versus chaos, development versus demand, long-term planning versus immediate output. And right now, United are choosing control. But when the most dangerous player is watching the first 60 minutes and sometimes the first 80 minutes from the bench, it always feels like something is being held back. And the longer he keeps scoring from limited minutes, the louder this debate becomes. Because the real question isn't whether Šeško is ready, it's whether United are ready to build around him. Thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, please consider subscribing, and see you on the next one.